Hello and welcome to our very first website strategy session. My name is Robert Haylor and I'll be your host for the next 1 hour or so. I'm hoping this won't be death by PowerPoint, but if you do need to grab yourself a coffee or tea and refreshments, then please feel free to do that throughout the session. There's no obviously requirement for you to sit there throughout the whole hour and listen to me. We have built in coffee breaks around about halfway through. If you do need to go or recharge or let the dog out, or more importantly answer the phone, then that's obviously also built into the presentation as well. Anyway, let's get into the actual presentation for today. Look, you knew there was going to be a slide that was just a bit self-promotional. Well, this is it. As mentioned at the start, my name is Robert Haylor, founder and owner of Boost Digital Media. I've been working within the digital marketing and digital media space, websites, for over 15 years, choosing to spend most of my time working with other agencies across the southwest of the UK, before starting my own agency in 2018. I also grew a small social media account from 0 all the way to 12,000 followers, and today I think we have around between 9 and 10,000 followers, following the conversion from Twitter over to X. I think perhaps less said there, the better. If you like, you can go onto our Google page and simply Google my business name, and you will find quite a few reviews to see how obviously amazing we are based on our current reviews, and also equally people that have left us reviews in the past. I won't go into much more than that. Obviously, feel free to do your own homework in regards to the agency itself. So what we're going to cover the next sort of hour? Well, the main things that we're going to look at is essentially how you can align your website with your business goals. And we all know all businesses have goals. You probably set quite a few at the start of the year, and I do hope that you're progressing well with those. We'll look at how you can understand your current visitor profile. We'll look at how you can attract them, engage with them, and then more importantly, convert those website visitors into something more tangible. We're going to dive into some of the common pitfalls and how you can fix them. And we're also going to what are the key elements of a high converting website, the role of the user experience and engagement. And finally, we'll touch on how you can drive traffic to your website and more importantly, convert those visitors into customers. So we mentioned there briefly about aligning your website with your business goals. Now, what do we mean by this? So let's take it for a moment. You've got these business goals that you've written down, and you're now thinking, right, well, how are we going to achieve them? What methods of marketing are we going to use? Are we going to use things like digital marketing? Are we going to use things like cold calling? Are we going to use email marketing? What tools are we going to use to essentially help us achieve our goals? But obviously, the first protocol, if you haven't got any of these goals already set, spend some time this week literally writing down where you want your business to be this time in 12 months' time, 3 months' time, and at the end of next week. And by having that, you can then start to think about, where does a website kind of fit into helping us achieve those goals? So one of the things that you can do is obviously having dedicated pages to each of the areas that you're servicing. So for instance, website design, website hosting, logo design, social media. These are our main core services, and having a page dedicated to each of those product proposition areas is going to help drive traffic for people that are looking for those services. Obviously, you would then need to ensure you have a good website sitemap and ensure it is structured so that it does support your goals going further forward. That sitemap can then be taken to Google Search Console, submitted, and over time, Google will index that web page. The other side of the coin as well, once you've got it onto Google, is in analysing the effectiveness of your website. Is it bringing in the traffic? Is it bringing in the right kind of traffic? How are you going to measure the performance? Now, there are several things that I do this end. One of them is I have a scorecard that measures my own the key metrics for the agency. And the other thing that I use is Google Analytics to measure the performance of the website. So essentially, visitor numbers, what page they're visiting, the information around where they're coming from, and then equally what percentage of that traffic is converting to, say, a lead or something more tangible. The other thing that you can do with your website is you can obviously update content regularly. So, it's pointless pushing these pages live and then expecting the leads to form an orderly queue. That's just not going to happen. you essentially have to update your website with fresh content, preferably weekly or potentially even monthly. Or better yet, if you've got a blog module on your website, this is where those updates can definitely come in. And obviously, keeping that blog updated on a monthly basis is vital for the ongoing success of your website. Your website should also be secure. It should have an integrated SSL certificate. So if your website isn't secure, Google is going to penalize you. You'll also need to ensure your website is mobile friendly, and also ensure that the website user experience is going to be a good one for your visitors. Essentially, if none of those are in place, then Google is going to mark your website down, as opposed to, say, for example, one of your competitors, which is resulting in essentially a lower conversion rate, lower traffic to your website, and so on. So we've got these bits and pieces, but how can we attract website visitors? Well, there's various different things that we can do, and there's a few of them on there. The main sort of focus or kind of channel, if you will, for getting websites is unfortunately SEO optimization. And what do we mean by this? We mean essentially using relevant keywords into your content, in your website articles, products, pages, and blogs to help increase your website's position. Obviously, SEO is a bit more than that. There are other things that you need to do. So you do need to secure backlinks on good websites. You need to ensure your content is good. You need to ensure that you're mobile friendly, that the user experience is good, that it loads fast. All these things that I talk about quite regularly in some of my reels that are also on Instagram and YouTube Shorts. Having meta descriptions. Now, there's various different ways in which obviously we can use SEO for both good and for bad. You could just go off and submit your website to thousands of directories and get backlinks back. But what's the quality of those backlinks? If the backlinks are from directories, they're not going to be great. But if they're backlinks from, say, an influencer who's got a blog and a following of thousands, that's going to have more weight as opposed to literally submitting your website to millions of directories in the hope it's going to bring something back. So driving traffic is about playing a bit of a long game there. So SEO optimization is one channel. Notice I have said it is one channel. There are more channels open to us. You then have what's called content marketing. So this is things like blogs, videos, lead magnets. So this could be things like ebooks. This very webinar that we actually put out there is a lead magnet. It enables us to essentially capture information about you who've signed up today and essentially allow us to then contact you in due course. It's exclusive unboxing events. These sort of things that you see in TikTok. When you go onto the TikTok social media platform, you will notice unboxing events or people boxing up their products and services. They're not doing it because they want to do it. They're doing it because essentially it is marketing their products, marketing their services. And as a result of that, then you are more likely to go, do you know what? I saw so-and-so this on TikTok. I'm going to buy that particular product or services. So it has an emotional kind of attachment. Obviously, with content marketing, make sure it's relevant to your service. If you're a restaurant that is talking about, let's say, for example, a certain type of cuisine, such as Chinese cuisine, don't go off on a tangent and start talking about plumbing. It doesn't gel well. So make sure your content is all in keeping with what you do as a business, as an organization. Coming down that platform, then you have social media. Now, we all know social media, Facebook, Twitter, or X, say, Instagram. Choose your flavor. Essentially, there's lots of social media channels available out there, but all of it can be used to leverage the platform to drive traffic back to your business's website. Now, obviously, it's still top level traffic. So this is people just clicking on links. It's not necessarily leads. It's not necessarily people that are interested in buying from you. These people that have seen an article, let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at this page. Let's check out that review. These aren't necessarily people that are in the mood or in the mindset yet to buy your product or services, primarily because they haven't decided if they need it yet. So do use social media, but obviously don't spend all your time on that single channel. Look at other options. On the right hand side there, that's when we've got paid advertising. So this can be anything from pay-per-click marketing. So this is things like using Google AdWords, using I think Bing do something very similar. And then you've also got things like Facebook ads and so on and so forth. These are very expensive forms of advertising and sending traffic both to our website or to a landing page where you should be able to obtain further information. So ensure if you're doing paid advertising that you have got your targeting right and that you've got the budget. you're not going to get it right first time when it comes to paid advertising. So make sure you've got the budget there to account for those mistakes, and equally optimizing your campaigns. Obviously, if you need help, reach out to an experienced and expert digital marketing agency. So once you've got these people coming to your website, what do you do then with them? What are they supposed to do when they land on your website? Is it clear? Do you have a clear value proposition when they land on your website? Give them a reason to stay. So if you produce an article about how to fix a leaky tap, walking them through that, or better still, having a video and they've uploaded to YouTube, is going to help things move further forward. At the end of the day, the website that you've put live isn't about you. It is about solving your customers' problems, and it's essentially there where they want to get information from you, learn from you, and essentially if they then want to buy from you, then they will. Content is always king. Now, there has been various debates throughout the whole digital marketing process of, is content king? Is there other things that have now overtaken it? No. No matter where we take it, content is always going to be king. This video you're watching is content. The text I put online that you read is content. The social media posts that you engage with is content. So ensure your website is filled with engaging content, interactive elements like quizzes, videos and infographics, and also look into podcasts. They're apparently the latest thing that is seeing a significant increase in growth. Coming down a bit further there, we then have a responsive design. Look, if your website isn't responsive, isn't mobile friendly, you are alienating nearly 75 to 80% of your traffic. That means 80% of your visitors are already looking at your competition. So, it's no longer acceptable to have a website that isn't responsive. So you need to be getting in contact with your website agency and saying, I need a website that's responsive, and to implement that immediately. On your website, you can also have things like personalized experiences and also live chat features. This allows you to essentially tailor the experience that they see based on user data that they may have submitted to you through either email marketing or other channels. Alongside that, you can also then look at things like live chat where they can reach out to you and ask the queries and questions that they may have. So once you've got all the visitors on your website and they've read through the content, they're interested, they've seen your call to action, potentially that's an ebook. How do you get them to essentially convert? Well, there's several ways in which we can do that. So once they've landed on your website, having a clear call to action that's separated throughout the page or repeated throughout the page is going to help and going to increase conversions overall. A link to a contact page is a great way to get people to contact you, but obviously when it comes to a call to action, you want it crystal clear and make sure they can click on it without a problem. The next thing you got there is landing pages. Now these are very specific pages. They're not like your about us or here's what we did last week. They are tailored for one purpose: converting visitors into customers. So you often find these through email marketing applications like MailChimp, MailerLite, Infusionsoft, and these applications essentially allow you to drill down and keep it focused on one point, and then at the end of it they have a form which they fill out and send over to you. These could be classified as hot or potentially even warm leads. That then brings us nicely onto lead capture forms. Short, simple, minimum amount of information that they need to download certain bits. Now, the amount of data you request should match the product or the value that you're prepared to give back. So if you have a website or a resource like an ebook, what information are you asking for? And what are you going to do with that information once you've got it? If there's a request for phone numbers, email addresses, telephone numbers, a company name, company size, turnover, and so forth, then the content you give back should match that value. And equally, whilst on that topic, the content that you give should be informative. The final thing there is trust and signal and exit intent. In some cases, you can literally have pop-ups that come up on the website saying, oh, before you leave, have you looked at this? You can also integrate things like Google, Trustpilot reviews to signal that actually your website agency or your company is better than others, and showcasing that proof that you have worked in this sector, you have done this, you have done that, you have social proof to back up what you're saying on your website. Of course, We know none of this is perfect, and we know there are common pitfalls within everything that we do. And here's just a few of them. So some websites are quite slow. This is going to turn people off. As I've already mentioned, if your website isn't loading in 3 seconds or less, then your visitors are already looking at your competition. We all have browsers now with tabs. Multiple tabs can be open at any one time. And as a result of that, you are able to simply go, I don't like the look of that one, I like the look of that one, and so on and so forth. If your website navigation is all over the place and isn't clear, isn't concise, isn't in one singular location with a single kind of style to it, that's going to confuse the user base. As a result of that confusion, people are going to click off. If when the user lands on your website page and it's not clear what you want them to do, they're going to exit. Plain and simple. What do you want to read the article? Watch the video? Or you want them to sign up to something? Give them a purpose being on that page, and at the bottom of that, give them a reason to essentially convert, i.e. the content that we were talking about. Again, there on that list is that poor mobile or website experience. If there's no mobile-friendly framework on that website, it doesn't scale, then you have lost that customer. One thing I would say is do not ignore the data that is coming through from Google Analytics or from any of your metrics that you value. Data will provide you with insights in terms of what's working, what's not. Go back, tinker with it, tailor it, change bits, and then redo the campaign again. One thing that it's quite long-winded is the fact that when it comes to getting people to convert on your website is actually you're not going to get it right first time. You are going to have to change things, alter things. So get used to experimentation and finding out what's going to work best for your business. So that's what bad looks like. What does the good look like? Well, the website has a very clear, very concise navigation across all devices. It's quick, it's easy to navigate. The pages just flow. The whole thing looks amazing, and it just works. The website is well designed. It has a mobile friendly first mentality behind it, and that comes through in that design. Alongside this, the use of compelling visuals such as images of completed works. Invest some time and effort and money into a good logo for your business. Obviously, business is about people, so equally, if you have the budget, do get some professional headshots done, do get some photos of you and the team, or if it's just you, do get some photos of you literally on the job doing the task that you are saying that you can do. Have a variety of contact options. It shouldn't be difficult for visitors to reach out to you. They should be able to contact you via a phone number, via an email address, via a contact form. There should be somewhere on each page a method that they can use to get in touch with you. If it's not on there, get it on there. And most websites that have got a high level of conversion have that information on there. Each page should tell a story. So share stories of how you've helped people, share case studies, share experiences that you've had, detail essentially how your journey, I suppose, from where you were to where you're now going. Team of 1, all of a sudden now we're a team of 4. This was our story. This is our journey. This is how we got there. And again, use an array of media, including images, video, and podcasts to convey your message. It doesn't all have to be text. And in the 21st century, I don't necessarily think that it should all be text. We should be looking into these types of media, video, graphics, and podcasts to really, really amplify who we are as business owners and how we can help other organizations achieve their goals. Obviously, UX is important. Now, UX or user experience is vital when it comes to your website. The navigation, as I keep repeating, it has to be simple, clean, and intuitive. The typography should be clear to read, and those fonts that you choose need to tie in with your existing branding. So do make sure that the branding font that you've used on your logo then either has a text font that complements it or is the font in the logo. Coming down a bit further, we're going to have getting creative. So on your website, use polls and calculators to help users engage with your website. It isn't always about collecting data from your website visitors. So use quizzes, use polls and calculators, and then send emails to them based off the back of those quizzes. Now, these are the things you can do to improve your website. Here's the things you can do to stop that leaky tap. Here's the things you can do to use various different forms to essentially increase engagement. ensure your website loads in 3 seconds. And what can you do in 3 seconds? Not a great deal, but that's the average time you've got. So if a visitor isn't happy with the experience or isn't happy with the load times, they're looking elsewhere. So ensure your website is quick to load and is available 24/7. Carry out regular surveys. One of the things that you have to do in business is get feedback, and sometimes that feedback isn't going to be always nice. So take feedback from your website visitors, what's working, what's not, and then essentially improve upon the negatives, and equally take the positives on board as well. At the end of the day, these people could potentially be either your customers today or your customers tomorrow. I'm just going to pause it there for 5 minutes. So we're going to take a break, and then when you come back, we'll get into driving even more traffic to your website. Hi everyone, and welcome back. So as briefly mentioned, we're now going to look at essentially driving even more traffic to your website. So what other methods can we use to drive more and more traffic to your website? Is there more things that we can do? We've touched on obviously things like those main channels there, SEO optimization, social media, and so forth. But what more can we do? So we can look at things like content based, so creating high quality and shareable content on your website. At the end of the day, guess what? The best thing about having a website is it's your website. You own it. Use it. Use it to the maximum you possibly can. The whole point of having a website is for it to drive traffic back to your business. So one thing I would say here is use your website to its full extent. It's your plot of land. It's not Facebook's, it's not Twitter's, it's not LinkedIn's. It's your plot of land. Get it out there as much as you can. Use a combination of on-page and off-page optimization to help drive traffic to key landing pages. Now, what do we mean by this? What's a key landing page? Key landing page could be something whereby you've got a service you're offering. It could be whereby you've got a product on sale. Use a combination of on-page optimizations, that is your titles, your headings, your meta description, and then off-page optimization could be getting backlinks from influencers. Use email marketing. I've seen so many different posts that email marketing is dead, doesn't work, X and Y, but email marketing is the single most powerful form of traffic that you have in your arsenal. It's the one form of traffic you can control. It's the one form of traffic you can actually segment, so leverage it. Create nurturing campaigns, create sales campaigns, and use that traffic to drive more leads, more conversions to your business. At the end of the day, if you've got a lead coming into your business and you've got a regular supply of leads, you've got a very good chance of moving them into the pipeline and as a result making more business. Encourage your users to follow you on social media. Look, they don't always have to buy from you to be a fan of yours. Simply producing great content such as a video, some tips on a Friday, or writing out a single blog post. Yes, these things do take time as business owners, and for some you may be thinking, well, where's the money going to come from for all this? Well, does it cost us anything to post our pictures of what we've had for tea or what we've done with the girls this weekend? The truth is, no. And we'll share that with the world, but yet we always feel a bit, well, for my business, it's too much work, or it's not going to yield anything. No, that's the wrong mindset. At the end of the day, if you've got social media pages, use them to share content, use them to share information, top 10 tips, how to fix leaky taps if you're a plumber, how to change a light bulb if you're an electrician, just basic sort of things that are going to help bring in more people to your social media community. Offer referral programs. If you've got an existing client bank already, or you're in the process of building a client bank, then offer some incentives. So this could be as simple as, if you refer a business to us, we'll give you £100. Failing that, you could have things like teaming up with influencers, teaming up with local sports clubs to drive more traffic back to the website. You can obtain backlinks on relevant websites such as news websites, PRs, and yes, to a degree, good quality local directories. I'm not saying on this occasion you go off and submit your website to thousands of them, because that could be seen as a form of Google SEO manipulation. So make sure that you're doing these bits and pieces to help increase traffic to your website, drive more potential visitors, and as a result of that, you may also see an increase in both leads and also conversions. So once you've got the traffic and you've converted it, you now need to create it into paying customers. So how do you do that? Create urgency. One of the main things, I mean, how many times have you been sent an email with the words, this sale will end in 5 hours? And then in the email, there is a little countdowner showing you the 5 hours as it goes down. And then 9 times out of 10, what do we find? There's another email coming back saying, we are going to, we've increased the time for another hour to give you time to buy our product. So create urgency and ensure that urgency is clear to see. Build credibility through social proof and testimonials. So share those case studies, share the testimonials, share the information that you have. Use what you've got, the tools, the reviews, the traffic. Use all these bits and pieces to take that traffic and convert it into paying customers, and shout about it at all. But obviously make sure you can back it up with actual real evidence of you doing the work. Easy steps to purchase your product or service. Don't make it difficult for the customer or the visitor. If you've got an online store and it simply has a button saying click here to contact us or click here to do this, no. If they want to buy a product, add to cart, checkout. That's it. They're not interested in anything else. For your service-based business, click here to contact us. Better yet, have the contact form on the bottom of the actual page with the service on. This is going to help bring in more traffic, more leads, more conversions. Upsell and cross-sell where applicable. I mean, this is more for our e-commerce business owners. So if you've got an e-commerce business, make sure you're upselling and cross-selling. So if they've bought, for me, many years ago, I used to run a smartphone online store. So if you know that they've bought a mobile phone, then have on there and cross-sell mobile care products, cases, accessories, phone, I think they're called phone tokens, little things that hang down from the phone, screen protectors, and so on and so forth. So cross-sell products complement the main product they've just bought. And then look at retargeting methods, so things like Facebook campaigns, Google AdWords. These are all there set to get people to come back to your website to complete their purchase and complete the sale. So in summary, what is the next for your website? What's the next step you can take? So after today, what can you do today? So today, go back and take a look at your website. Identify areas that you can improve upon. So this can be very simple things. It could be altering the text. It could be writing a blog post, uploading a video to YouTube and then putting it on your website. It can just be something as simple as optimizing your images. Implement those quick wins. Optimize landing pages, optimizing the calls to action. Make it simple. You don't have to have a whole brand new redesign. You can simply take what you've got today and change very small bits and pieces. Set smart goals for both traffic and conversions. Use Google Analytics to essentially report on success or failure of ongoing efforts. Not everything you do on your website is going to result in 5,000 visitors tomorrow morning. And if your website is brand new, we shouldn't be expecting those kind of results anyway. As a brand new website, you are looking at 6 to 12 months of work just to initially start getting the website out there in terms of getting links in, getting it noticed, getting the word out there, and constantly pushing and pushing. There's a lot of work to do once you put out the launch of a new website. Spend some time today looking at industry trends. What's happening in your sector? What's happening in your business? What's happening in your industry? And essentially start reading up about it and then implement what you've learned onto your website. Obviously, there are some best practices as well that you can implement as well along the way. So that gives us a very quick overview in terms of how we can increase website traffic flow and how we can make things so much easier for our visitors to become customers. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has attended today. I do appreciate your time. However, if you are looking for additional help or would benefit from a free website audit, then that's exactly what we offer at Boost Digital Media. It's completely free. There's no cost involved, and I'll be sending you all an email with the link so you can book that audit straight away. Where can you find more about us? Simply follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram. Just simply search for Boost Digital Media and we'll come up. We also post out regular videos on both Instagram at Robert Haler and also on my official YouTube channel. So do also check those out. Again, thank you all so much for attending today, and have a really great day. Take care.